We out here to fight for them reparations, right?
Yeah. What do we want?
We out here.
What do we want? Now. What do we want?
Reparations.
What do we want?
Now.
What do we want? Reparations.
All right, y'all, let's go and do this here. I want to welcome everybody today. We are out here for a press conference in front of the governor's office. We are Reparations Over Everything. You understand what I'm saying? Reparations Over Everything Coalition, right? This is who we are. And we're out here to make our statements known. We're out here to make our points known about the governor's apology and about, the SB 1403 and that was, and the veto as well. That veto is like kind of ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody standing around Massey, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Camilla Moore. She was the chair of the Reparations Task Force for the state of California, right? And so she was also involved in the 1,100-page report that came out of that. So we have a number of professionals here at this press conference, and we want to thank all of you for being here today. Channel 5, we have Spectrum News.
L.A. Sentinel, but can we get your name?
L.A. Sentinel, my name is Kevin Warden Price. I'm with the Africa Town Coalition. And I'm going to turn it over to Camilla Moore.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here today as we stand united in the fight for lineage-based reparations and justice. As chair of the California Reparations Task Force, my name is Camila Victoria Moore. I am deeply dismayed by the actions of Governor Newsom and the California Legislative Black Caucus. After years of work from the task force, we laid out a clear plan for reparations, including the recommendations to create a reparations agency and a reparations fund for descendants of enslaved people who have also suffered from Jim Crow and ongoing discrimination in California. Yet, the California Legislative Black Caucus worked with Newsom to undermine the task force's efforts by blocking SB 1403 and SB 1331, reparations bills that would have created a reparations fund and agency introduced by Senator Stephen Bradford. Also, in May 2024, the California Legislative Black Caucus sent a letter to Governor Newsom asking for $6 million of the $12 million recently allocated to reparations implementation to be diverted to a nonprofit organization, the California Black Freedom Fund, that has no clear plan for how it would implement reparations. In fact, a conversation with the California Black media due to public pressure found that a representative from the California Black Freedom Fund, Mark Philpart, publicly has backed away from the funds, stating that they had no idea what their role would have been if they had received it. I call this is corruption. Meanwhile, Governor Newsom sought to amend the agency bill to extend it to a 2-year study, a delay that we firmly reject. The time for studies is over. Governor Newsom's recent apology for slavery, while seemingly a step forward, rings hollow when paired with actions that deny real justice. Excluding the public and the press from this reparations bill signing ceremony only further raises questions about the apology's sincerity. Lastly, under international law, an apology without material reparations not only fails, but exasperates harm. We demand a public apology after reparations, real reparations, are enacted, one that acknowledges not only slavery, but also the harm caused by the Black Caucus and Newsom's administration's obstruction. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there, Camilla. And she is, or she was, the chair of the Reparations Task Force. So I just want to introduce the next speaker. I'll just say Black Lives Matter, and I'll let her speak for herself.
Jan Williams.
Hi, everyone. I'm with Black Lives Matter Los Angeles. I was in Sacramento on August 31st. And I'm here to speak about my feelings about the insincere apology. On August 31st, the California Legislative Black Caucus conspired to kill bills on the day that we planned to celebrate progress in a fight that has been ongoing for hundreds of years. On August 31st, Congressional Legislative Black Caucus members dismissed, disrespected, and were indignant toward members of the community that put them into power to work on behalf of us. The apology was insincere because they refused to speak to us, walked past us, and even Reggie Jones Sawyer, the assembly member who was tasked to bring the bills to the floor to be voted on, mocked us and laughed at us in our faces. The apology was insincere because at the press conference following the August 31st fallout, the governor demanded that the community members owed the CLBC an apology. I say, why do we owe them an apology? Is it because we have exposed another governmental conspiracy like COINTELPRO to continue to neglect the specific needs of Black people and disempower our community? The apology is insincere because that plaque in that paper does nothing to feed our families, does nothing to stop people from dying on the streets homeless, does nothing to stop Black people from being pushed out of Los Angeles, does nothing to stop Black people from being pushed out of California, the only people who have been pushed out at a rapid rate while other communities continue to thrive. The apology is insincere because we could have had something transformative. We were only given an insincere, symbolic performance, nothing that repairs us, nothing that brings us justice. The apology is insincere because there was no tangible action to pay the debt that is long overdue to my grandparents. The apology is insincere because they were intentionally locked out of wealth while white communities lived off of the interest of the labor stolen from our grandparents. To be clear, there is no apology and there is no reparations without a check. We were locked out of wealth and we need to be given that wealth back for at least the next 7 generations. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jan Williams. I am Friday Jones. My name is Kanta Jones Muhammad. I'm the president of the National Assembly of American Slavery Descendants. I'm also the vice chair of the Los Angeles Reparations Advisory Commission. And I, as an individual and NAASD, stands in solidarity with Reparations for Over Everything Coalition. The governor's gutting of the Reparations Agency, his vetoing of the land return bill, and failure of the CLBC to bring the $12 million reparations fund to the floor for a vote have negatively for reparations. Within 1 week of Governor Newsom's actions, Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris stated that she would not issue an executive order for H.R. 40. She opted to send the bill back to Congress despite the passing of Sheila Jackson Lee and Cori Bush's loss during her primary. The Democratic Party, from the top of the ticket to the bottom of the ticket, must hear our call for accountability with our vote. Reparations is a nonpartisan issue. We have presidential candidate Donald Trump referring to taxpayer-paid reparations as if the taxation of American freedmen was not immediately implemented after the Civil War, as if American freedmen do not live in a governmental system that found a way to strengthen the political power of white Southern landowners with the 3/5 of a man rule, yet the Republic has yet to develop a mechanism within the Electoral College that ensures American freedmen have political power in this country. It was our ancestors that funded the Freedmen's Bank and were the largest buyers of Treasury bills after the Civil War. Not only did we build this economy on free labor, but our beloved Union soldiers invested in this nation, and it's time for this nation to invest in us. Legacy advocates like the Alliance for Reparations, Reconciliation, and Truth, led by AB 3121 Commissioners Dr. Cheryl Grills, Lisa Holder, and Don Tamaki, that voted against lineage reparations during the hearings. This alliance has a NARC commissioner and COBRA members that have influence and were funded by the California Black Freedom Fund, Liberation Ventures, Decolonizing Wealth. At every turn, these individuals have undermined the California work that this very coalition has done over the past 5 years. I am holding them accountable to the descendant population in California, the 5th largest black population in the United States. I am calling them out and publicly calling them in. We have been here before when philanthropy quieted the progress made politically during the civil rights era of the 1960s and late 1970s. I call on Gavin Newsom, our governor, to move these pieces of legislation by executive order. I call on our voters to remember the betrayal at the poll this November. I call on the nonprofits that have been funded by these organizations that I have named to stand in solidarity with us. I call on the people from across this nation to join NAASD.org, make contributions, and attend the unity meetings that we hold every third Wednesday of every month. United, we can get this done in California.
Remember November.
Good afternoon. My name is Lori Jenkins, and I am one of the co-chairs of the Lineage, Equity, and Advancement Project, otherwise known as L.E.A.P. And I'm also representing the Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, also known as CJEC.
My name is Nita Watson. I am the president of the National Volunteer Council on Freedmen Affairs. I am also on the board of L.E.A.P. I am on the board of NAASD and a very, very proud organizer with CJEC.
Our statement today is that the Lineage, Equity, and Advancement Project, or L.E.A.P., Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, CJEC, and National Volunteer Council on Freedmen Affairs, NVCFA, recognizes that Governor Newsom has signed the bill which focuses on providing a formal apology to systemic racism against black residents, formal acknowledgement of California's historical role in slavery. While this is an important first step toward healing and recognition, it must be an apology can help validate the grievances of affected communities and lay the groundwork for dialogue, but it does not address the systemic issues directly. True reparations must translate acknowledgement into actionable steps that directly benefit those harmed. This includes policies and programs aimed at correcting economic disparities, social inequity, and community disinvestment arising from historical injustices. An apology lacks the force of law and does not and investing in community infrastructure. Apologies can be seen as fleeting gestures that may lead to complacency without tangible follow-up measures. A formal apology does not ensure ongoing commitment to addressing the issues that perpetuate social inequities.
We urge the California legislature to introduce SB 1403, SB 1331, and other transformational reparations legislation in the 2025 session. We also demand that the California Legislative Black Caucus act to override Governor Newsom's veto of SB 1050, land return taken by eminent domain. This bill earned overwhelming bipartisan support with supermajority approval in both the Assembly and Senate, making it fully eligible for a legislative override. We also call on Governor Newsom to actively collaborate with grassroots organizations, such as those here before you today, that are on the front lines of this fight, and together change and achieve real justice for Black Americans in California. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. No check wrote, get no vote. All right, and that's something for the CLBC. We got to let them know that, you know, you got to go. The CLBC members who stabbed the black family in the back on August 31st, the last congressional legislative voting opportunity for these bills, you got to go. All right.
Good morning. I'm Yvette Porter-Moore, an expert genealogist traveling from San Diego, California to address Governor Newsom and the California Legislative Black Caucus. I come here representing descendants of chattel slavery and in the power and strength of my ancestors who had to endure all the harms of slavery, Jim Crow, and all the continued harms that we have had to suffer and endure. I am disappointed that key reparation bills which would establish and fund a reparations agency have been stalled or blocked. My question is, how long must we wait? Like Langston Hughes said, what happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crusted sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? As I watched the news reports, I saw one bill after another being vetoed. We have spent the last few years waiting for the California legislature and the governor to do right by the black people of California. How long must we wait? There are three things that I want to address: additional studies for reparations, lineage-based research, and the establishment of a reparations agency, which includes a genealogy department. We do not need additional studies for reparations. The research and documentation from the California Reparations Task Force have rested its case, with 1,100 pages of a comprehensive report, along with an additional 111 pages of recommendations. Why are we beating a dead horse? There comes a time when no more research or study is needed. Let's write this chapter in history and do right by the descendants of American slavery. To qualify people, we must establish clearly defined requirements for individuals who are descendants of chattel slavery. One way of doing this is through a lineage-based process, which will require genealogical research. We will need knowledgeable genealogists and individuals who will trace and fill out the necessary forms with the supporting documents. There are also needs to be a safeguard for those who were raised in the foster care system and or were adopted. The adoption record.
One of the main points of reparations is no repetition of the crime. I just walked down from the criminal court building where we are there with two families. The family of Sky Young, who was shot down because he was black by a security guard, and the family of Christopher DeAndre Mitchell, who was shot down by a police officer. These crimes are continuing in California. So again, real reparations begins with non-repetition. And what we know is Senator Bradford, who was the only courageous one to put these true reparations bills forward, told us that he got word at the Democratic National Convention is when people started to take a different position on these reparation bills. So we know it actually goes above and beyond Gavin Newsom. So we need everybody to remember this November 5th when you go to vote. We also want to point out that what happened with the reparations bills is typical of the relationship of America with Black America. America is falling right now because it has continually held down the primary people that have built up and exalted this nation. You got 250 years of free labor that put the American economy far above any and everybody else. Every industry in this country has been propelled by Black Americans. Whether we talking sports, education, the military, who won all the wars for America? I keep knocking this over. Who won all the wars for America? Our ancestors. Right here in Los Angeles. What propelled Los Angeles? Biddy Mason, Charlotta Bass, Bunchy Carter, numerous others. But again, it's this refusal to support the Black Americans who are moving this nation forward and actually committing suicide by trying to hold us down. Just like Gavin Newsom, he might as well know he ended his political career. The California Legislative Black Caucus might as well know y'all have ended your political careers. You might weather the storm November 5th simply because some of you have opponents that we don't really support. But I want to remind everybody, you don't have to vote for either. Whether it's Isaac Bryan or his opponent, whether it's Tina McKenna or her opponent, you don't have to vote for either. Pull back some of them votes that got Tina McKenna a 40,000 margin. That got Isaac Bryan a 60,000 vote margin. Let's withdraw as many of them votes as we can, all who see this. So again, we want to remind the people that ultimately the power is in our hands. Even though our numbers are disappearing in California, we got to act right now today, November 5th, and we got to send a message to all of them that this will no longer be tolerated. And we also want to let Vice President Kamala Harris know we need more than more studies that will be sent to Congress. We need you to act with executive orders if you get into office. All power to the people.
All power to the people. So we're going to have questions in just 1 second, but we have Camilla Moore. She needs to come up and just address one more issue. Thank you.
Thank you. I just also want to highlight, in Governor Newsom's insincere apology, he excluded the public and the press. That needs to be emphasized because under international law, an apology must be public and paired with material reparations to be meaningful, neither of which happened here. Thus, it is essential, as we have all stated today, that Senate Bill 1403 and SB 1331, the bills to create a reparations fund and agency specifically for descendants of U.S. chattel slavery, must be reintroduced and passed into law without changes, as these measures are critical to advancing reparations. Additionally, as we have mentioned, there must be ongoing public engagement and accountability from the California Legislative Black Caucus regarding the $12 million budget allocation for reparations implementation for this upcoming fiscal year. Only after these material reparations are in place, we deserve a redo should a proper public apology be made, one that fully acknowledges the harm of slavery and its afterlife, as well as the recent actions and corruption by the California Legislative Black Caucus and Governor Newsom's administration in their path of obstructing justice for descendants of slaves.
Thank you very much for that. And the last but not least, we have an elder here, Baba Keeley. We're gonna give him a couple of minutes just real quick, then we're gonna get to them questions, because this man has a lot to say. Here you go, brother.
I think it's been said. I think one of the short-sightedness and this despicableness of it, apology acknowledges and recognizes harm and wrong. But apology by itself is meaningless, and everybody up here said that. Let's make it real. I think the idea of overriding the legislation is something that we are calling for to make sure that those whose land was stolen from them should be returned. And so I want to be in favor of that and move forward. I think people have spoke here have covered this subject in depth. The only reason that they asked me to speak is because I've been here for 76 years and on the battlefield for 55, for 55. so they just asked me to speak because I've just been doing this for a long time. And one of the things I want to say, because I've been doing this, one of the things that is rewarding to me and many of us is that we have come this far. Many of us were told, y'all ain't gonna never get that. By black folks and white folks told us that. But here we stand. Thank you so much.
Cut the check.
Cut that check. Here we stand. Okay, so any questions? Any questions, please? Yes.
What are the next steps as far as reintroducing the bills, or how does that process work?
Okay, next steps. Anybody who want to take that one? Repeat the question just one more time.
What are the next steps as far as reintroducing? Do the bills need to be reintroduced, or are they voted on next year? Or and what happens going forward?
Yes. So the state legislature gets back to work in less than 90 days. At the end of December, early January, that will be the opportunity for them to reintroduce the bills that we're demanding they reintroduce. Again, that is Senate Bill 1403, that would create a reparations agency, and SB 1331, the bill that would create a reparations fund. Again, these two bills are specifically targeted to descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. So that's what we're doing. We're building power between now and the time they come back to work, so that we put the appropriate pressure on them for them to do the right thing.
We ain't going
All right.
nowhere.
Next question, please. Anybody? Yes.
What can we as a people do to support this movement?
Vote them out November 5th.
Vote them out November 5th. You know, also, you can go to any of the websites, CJEC, L.E.A.P, African Town Coalition, BLMLA. Yes.
Okay, you're asking to, hi, Lila Brown, LA Sentinel, you were saying to vote them out, but then vote in who? You're asking to vote them out, but then vote in whom? Because we still need advocates. We still want to be a part of the political process.
We want to tackle that one.
So yeah, first we want to put any new ones that may take office on notice, but also we're hoping more people standing right here will run. You know, like I said, some of them may survive this this election coming November, but in the future, best believe we're gonna have to start getting people in there that's gonna follow through and get the job done. So.
And not only that, I'm gonna let you get back. Not only that, but we are also in talks with a couple of candidates right now to replace some of the people who is a part of the COBC.
About getting involved, you can go to CJEC's website, Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, www.cjec-official.org. Push get involved. We'd love to have you. Black out.
Just that easy. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
This question is for Friday Jones. I would love for Friday to step back up to the mic and speak about our unity campaign that we have going on amongst all the coalition.
All righty, y'all.
All right, at the national level, olive branches have been extended, you know, and just like it was black people who ultimately made sure that those bills were not brought to the floor in California for a vote, it's going to be up to black people to deal with each other and to deal with ourselves. And again, you can go to naasd.org. We have a unity call that is across the country, from border to border, every third Wednesday of the month, and it's important that we move on the federal level together because we have no commitment from presidential candidate Kamala Harris.
Thank you very much. Okay, and one of the other things that, I'm gonna get you one sec. One of the other things that you can do as well is, you know, call these California Legislative Black Caucus members and let them know that you are dissatisfied with that knife in the back, y'all, right? Okay, also, you can email them, and you can just go to their office. You know, that's very effective as well. We have a question over here. Let me just slide in right quick.
My question is, will there be another commission established, like a brand new commission established with a new agenda to push forth reparations?
Whoa, we don't need no more studies. We don't need no more studies. Does anybody need to say that any different? We don't need no more studies.
No, we don't need any more studies. And in fact, Governor Newsom wanted to amend the agency bill to create a 2-year additional study commission to be housed by the Cal State universities. Absolutely unacceptable. Senator Stephen Bradford, who introduced the agency bill, rejected those amendments, saying we don't need any more studies. The California Reparations Task Force was 2 years long, right? We sacrificed a lot of time. Our report is 1,100 pages, is the most comprehensive document on the atrocities against descendants of U.S. chattel slavery since the 1968 Kerner Commission. No more studies are needed. We need action now. And that will happen by the Black Caucus reintroducing SB 1403 and SB 1331 on the first day of this upcoming legislative session.
Stop kicking the can.
Reparations over everything, y'all. Reparations over everything. Any other questions? Okay, so I want to thank everybody for being here today for this press conference, you know, which is courtesy of Reparations Over Everything Coalition. We have given you a lot of information, and we need y'all to act, y'all. We need you to act. We need the people of California to act on what you heard here today. Okay, don't just stay on your couch, and just mumble, but get on the phone, write some emails, and let's get out there and make a change. So, no check wrote, get no vote. Thank you very much.
I need a picture.
And I want to thank all the media, too. I want to thank all the media for coming out today. I apologize for not saying that earlier. But, y'all are the ones that helped to get this message through. And you're going to be very instrumental in the victory that we have coming with reparations. So I just want to thank everybody, all of you, for being here today. All right.
All right, let me set this up. Can you step forward?
Thank you for answering my question.
All right. Can you hold the sign up a little bit? That's good. You just step forward, too.
There's stuff underneath it. If you move it, it's got.
Okay.
You want us to move to the left, right?
No, this is fine. We'll work. Right. Yeah, hold the sign up high. You got this sign.
I know. Yeah. I'm like, I didn't wear the heels on purpose.
Okay. Questions? Do we need to have?
No, we got to have it.
It's going to be distracting.
Come on, Kevin.
This is all a part of the campaign.
But we want one
It's
picture
all
without
a
the
part
hat.
of the campaign.
Yeah,
Right.
the one with we want one picture without the hat.
No, we can't, because that might be the one you decide to use.
All right, we'll leave the hat, but I'm just saying, as far as conceptual art goes, you understand what it means. The viewers are going to take it as something different, and it's going to take the conversation in a whole different direction. But we'll leave the hat, though. But
They're already accusing us of being mad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It has to represent the entire coalition, not just one person. That's just the way it is.
all right, can we hold that sign up in the back a little higher? That's good. Can you just slightly higher? Can we just tighten up a little bit? Is it okay if I roll this back a little bit?
Happy for the apology, smile.
All right, I'll be careful.
Pick it up and then roll it
We're
back.
upset right now. We're upset right now.
Yeah, make sure it's still showing us, Kevin. Switch it a little bit. The actual top unit. I know.
It's showing.
Actual camera. Yeah, twist that.
Oh, is it okay?
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Tony,
All right.
Tony, get the big picture back in.
Okay, here we go. All right, the sign in the back. There we go. All right, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Can you hold it up a little above their heads? That's good. 1, 2, and 3. All right, that's good.
Peace and reparations. Hold on, everybody look this way real quick. Stop kicking the
You have to send that one. And then one more. He's getting one.
Oh, one more, y'all. One more.
Sideways, Tony. Go sideways.
Sideways. There you go.
Can y'all get one with mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll do it.
It don't matter whichever. Better probably sideways.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the one who
No,
knows.
you're not. No, we'll do it.
I'm running this on the front. I'm running this on the front.
No.
Glory.